true. We want the European Union, and we are pro-Europe at all. And this is a difference. We are not as critical in a way that we say we don't want the European Union. We make some proposals how to come to more jobs in Europe for social equality and so on. Social justice especially. But these new groups, they don't like Europe at all, and I'm very much surprised what's going on. What's about the Tories in Great Britain? I don't understand the world any longer. Of course, they have why they are not member of the Conservative group, the group of the European People's Party.
They say the EPP are too federalist for them. But the EPP argue, of course, that pro-Europeans still have 80% of the House.
Maybe this. I think this is a mistake in political thinking. And I hope the British Conservatives will come back to a pro-European attitude. Of course, this is important for Europe. If maybe Labour will not win the next elections, I don't know, but there is a possibility that Cameron will take it, or a coalition with the Liberals. But what's going on then? If we have a government in England which goes together with the right-wing people in the European Parliament to fight the European Union, this is, I think, a dangerous thing.
I mean, some of the partners that they've got, they have the ODS, obviously, from the Czech Republic, and they have the PIS, the Law and Justice Party, the Kaczynski twins party from Poland. I mean, some of these people's views in the past have been, well, a cause for some concern in the media, shall we say.
I don't know I don't understand this kind of combination. The Tories and the Kaczynski party in Poland, have they anything common? I don't believe. I hope so for Britain. Of course, and in Czechoslovakia, I think this is a coalition which will not take a long time. I think they are too different to live together for a long time.
Well, let's move on to our third and final report. This time we're talking about whether or not José Manuel Barroso should serve a second term as Commission President. At the recent European Council, all of the EU's 27 leaders gave their support to Mr. Barroso. They said they wanted him to stay at his post. He thanked them and promised financial reform, more jobs and training, and urgent action over Ukraine and Russian gas. But the Socialists remain ardently opposed. Their party president said they could never support him. It's probable that the Parliament's Conference of Presidents will put the nomination to the vote of the full House on July the 15th. But that will be under the Nice Treaty, and if Lisbon gets a yes in Ireland, the rest of the commissioners will face parliamentary scrutiny under the Lisbon Treaty in the autumn. So what does it all mean? I mean, what do you feel about Mr. Barroso? Would you support him as the ongoing president?
No, it's impossible. Of course, in my opinion, Barroso is one of the people in Europe who has many responsibility for the financial crisis. It's not right what is told to the public very often, that there are some American bankers which produce this crisis. No, the European governments and Barroso were active, very active, to produce this financial crisis at all. Of course, the politics they did. Look at the German bankers. They were very active. And they had many financial activities together with the bankers from the United States. And I think just now we have the crisis. And the people who produced the crisis or did a lot to come to this crisis, like Barroso, they shall solve the problem. I think they are the problem. They are part of the problem we have to solve. I think it's no good idea to take Barroso as one of the persons who produced this crisis again to fight the crisis. I think this is not the right way.
He says that he wants to see tougher financial regulation. He wants to see measures in place that will ensure that the bankers don't exceed their powers and do all sorts of things, basically gambling. I mean, you refer to it as a casino capitalism.
Yes, I hear they will fight it, but exactly. What did the German government, what did Barroso to do anything half a year after we know about the financial crisis. What is the result? Nothing. They paid many. They took the taxes from the people and said, "So you can get a credit, or the state will take this bank, and so on." They know a long time what's going on, but they did very small steps fighting.
Is there anything that can be done, though, to stop Mr. Barroso? Under Lisbon, after all, the party that wins the European elections should nominate the president of the European Commission. Obviously, the EPP took the largest number of seats, and they seem to want Mr. Barroso. I know you don't, the Socialists don't. There are people in the ALDE who don't, and the Greens certainly don't. Can he be stopped, though?
Not really, but I'll try to do, and we'll try to contribute, to say the public, to tell the story. The producers of the crisis, or the people who gave all these reasons for the crisis, they are just now the fighter of the crisis. I think it's not the people will not believe it at all. Of course, we have to look very serious. What is the responsibility of the bankers and the responsibility of the politicians? And the politicians made all the conditions where they could make this casino capitalism together and very close together with the bankers. And I think we have responsible politicians for these situations for the reasons of the crisis. And this is why I say Barroso is not a good man.
Is there an alternative candidate, though? Because nobody has put forward an alternative, except perhaps the supporters of Guy Verhofstadt, for instance.
Well, I don't know. I think there will be people which have concepts against the crisis. I don't expect that from my party there will come a president for the EU. Not at all. But you have let's read Paul Krugman and some people which are very good economists and some very good experts in financial affairs. Let's listen to them. Let's listen to many people who are able to tell us something, what is to do to fight the reasons of the crisis and to do something for a more social Europe. If we have this time to listen to them, we'll take one of them to be a good president to solve the problems, not to stay to be a part of the problems like Barroso is.